Have you ever seen an old person say the most offensive thing ever? It could be racist, homophobic, transphobic, misogynistic. Because they're old, they get away with it. It's called old people privilege, and I'm literally obsessed with it. I just think it's so interesting how people get to like 60, they retire, and then they can do and say whatever they want. Today, we're going to be looking at some old people with old people privilege.
Yeah, if you want to save the planet, kill yourself and one less person.
Everyone talks about white privilege, white privilege. I want old people privilege. Just wait until the day I turn 60. I am going to be a menace to society. I'm going to be saying the craziest shit. You just pray that I'm not around you when I'm that old. And you know what's the best part? There's nothing that people can do. You can't cancel me. I'm probably going to be retired. You can't call my school. You can't call my job. There's nothing you can do.
Exactly, that man's literally just living off his pension. You can't really cancel his pension, can you? I just think it's so crazy they can literally say whatever they want. Like, he can basically walk around and go F you, F you, F you to everyone. And what are you gonna do? Call his job? He doesn't have one, he's retired. Old people privilege is what I need. I mean, I want to be old so bad. I literally want to be retired and have my body malfunctioning. I'm 20, but I don't feel like a 20-year-old. I feel like a 50-year-old or like 60-year-old. For me, like, I don't go out to clubs and go out to bars. I literally like the net. Like, it's weird. Can't wait to retire so I can wake up at 6 a.m. and drive around 20 miles per hour under the speed limit to make people late for work. I admire your dedication to being a hater. I mean, I admire their dedication as well, but yet again, this old people privilege. I mean, what do old people actually do? In the UK, they probably wake up at like 6 a.m, have a cup of coffee, watch This Morning TV, have a nap, read a newspaper. Like, that is literally the life. I sorted my old people privilege at 50. That's why I want to be 50. Like, that's literally the golden age for me. Once I turn 60, I'm going to be a problem. If I live to 60, it's going to be me. Like, I'm telling you, I can't wait.
Right, can we talk about privileged, entitled elderly people? So today was the first time that I went on a bus with my son since he's been born, and as you know, there's priority seats, so let's talk about that. So I was sitting with my son in one of the priority seat sections and I started breastfeeding him because he was hungry. So tell me why this old woman comes on the bus and she's like, can you get up, I need to sit there. You should have seen my face, but anyway, I was like, I'm clearly sitting here. So you see this sign, yeah, she's like, but the sign says I need to sit. So I said, does the sign not say I should sit as well? Like, do
Just
you not
push
see
her
me with
over.
my baby? Like, I'm breastfeeding. Like, you can clearly see the mother and the baby, or the parent and the baby, or whatever. And mind you, there were more than a few available priority seats on the bus. So I don't even know what she was trying to argue with me for. I would understand if there wasn't, but there was. Well, anyway, as we've established, I didn't go anywhere. I was not getting up for her. So she went to sit next to another mum in the other priority section and started going on about how I didn't want to get up and la-di-da-di-da. Then that mum was like, oh, well, the sign does say different things. And then the audacity, so the old woman goes, oh, wow, people with no responsibility, so selfish. Bro, so being a mum is not responsibility.
Being a mum's probably one of the hardest jobs out there, and honestly, if I were you, I would have pulled the nipple out of the baby's mouth and squirted milk at her. Yet again, it's old people privilege, only old people can get away with that. Being a mum is the biggest responsibility, a whole full-time job. People are so entitled. I mean, I feel bad for my mum and dad trying to bring me up. Imagine trying to bring me up whenever I was younger. Keep in mind, I was one of them crazy kids that literally had energy 24/7. I was up at 5 a.m. running around, in bed by like 9 p.m. running around. Like, I would never ever sit still. It got to the point where I literally had to put one of them leashes on me. You know, whenever you see like kids wearing like a leash, it's kind of like a leash for a dog, but like for a kid, it's got like a big like harness. I had to wear one of them because I was such a crazy kid. Good for you, that can't have been a pleasant experience. Breastfeeding in public is hard at the best of times. Some people are just bitter. You would think that old woman also realised that. Her being an old woman and maybe having children in the past, she would know how hard it is to be a mother, and she's still mean to you. It's a wee bit weird, isn't it? I feel like with old people, there's two types. There's the really nice old people who you'll like remember for like the rest of your life, where they like bake you like blueberry pies. One of my neighbours is like that over there. She's really sweet. And then you'll have like the other type, which are just like bitter and like misogynistic. It's really weird because like most old people are lovely. I love them. However, there are a few bitter ones. Just start boxing these racists in the face and claim self-defense. I feel like it was low-key a bit of racism, you know. I didn't want to bring her race into it, but it makes sense. I mean, put it this way, she was having a go at you whenever there was another woman who was like a mom. I'm assuming if that woman was probably white. By the sounds of it, it does sound like, you know, she was targeting you because of your race, which is so sad. It's quite sad how with some older people, they are kind of racist. But the one good thing about them being old is hopefully they'll drop dead.
When you have pretty privilege, you have to put up with a lot of creepy ass behavior. But old lady privilege, that's the real power. I was in Atlanta over the holidays, and let me tell you what old lady privilege looks like. I went to one of the restaurants in the concourse, And the lady said, do you want a drink with that? And I said, does it come with it? And she said, no. I said, no, I'll just have some water. She said, look, auntie, what do you want? And I said, I want a lemonade. Then
Oh,
the
I
other
want old lady privilege.
packed up cornbread. I had cornbread in my purse going out because that's what old ladies do. Nobody expected anything later. People were just nice to me. This lovely young lady took care of me in the food court, went and got me water. She got my tray. I just felt really good and gave her something for it, but I don't know if she was expecting anything for it. She was just very old Atlanta, very sweet. People let me ahead in the line. They love to carry things for you. And at the end, nobody expects shit.
Yet again, that's why I want to be an old person. I literally want to skip the next 40 years of my life. I feel like a lot of people always think their best years are from like the ages of like 17 to 22. I'm gonna disagree. I think I'm gonna be happiest in my 40s or like in my 30s or like late 20s because I feel like I'm still so young. Like I kind of want to get them years over. Like, oh, hurry up. I literally want to be like her. I want to be like 50. Oh, auntie, that is so sweet. Something I love about black people is that they call other black women auntie. It could literally be a random woman. You're like, you're right, auntie. I love that. I think it's so cute. But yet again, I want to be an auntie. I literally cannot wait until I'm old, so it means people treat me like royalty. Do you guys remember at the beginning of the video how that man was telling, you know, eco warriors to end themselves if they really care about the earth and how old people can get away with saying stuff like that? Well, this is another example.
She says the driver, John Naisbitt, is racist and targeted her biracial son. We spoke to Naisbitt in May. Would you say that you're racist?
Not at all. No. Yeah. Look at my dog. He's as black as can be.
Yet again, he can only get away with that because he's old. Like, if I said that I get kicked out, I get cancelled, etc. He's an old man, so like he's got nothing to lose. Who cares if he's racist? It's his opinion and nobody will ever change it. Let's reread that comment and actually realize what it means. Who cares if he's racist? It's his opinion and nobody will ever change it. This guy's basically saying, who cares that old man's racist? I mean, I care. It's not good. Yet again, the good thing about these old people is that eventually they're gonna die and, you know, the racism will hopefully die with them. Spoken like a true racist. Yeah, exactly. It's sad. Yet again, it's a small amount of older people that are like that, but there are some like that. But yet again, the one benefit about them being old and having old people privilege is eventually that privilege will go away because they'll die.
You know what's f***ing bonkers? The fact that we just give old people a pass on being racist and bigoted. Who? Pop? He's 91. He's lived a long life. He's earned the right to be racist and bigoted. Oh, that's just how Nana was raised. She was raised to hate people of color. Like, what the f***? Like, imagine if I came to your house, your grandpa or grandma or whatever was putting on their white KKK mask, and I was like, what's your grandpa doing? Hey, Gramps, what you doing? Oh, nothing, just getting ready for my local lynching. I'd be like, what the fuck, Grandpa? That's not cool. And what, you'd be like, oh, sorry, that's just how he was raised. No, old people are still people. No excuses for Grampy Gramps and Nan. Put that in your fucking tapioca.
That's another privilege that old people get, you know, their like siblings and like family members will be like, oh, you know, it's just like that whenever he was growing up. Who cares? Who literally cares if he grew up in the 1950s? That doesn't give him a reason to be racist. It's always got to do with racism and like LGBT, like homosexuality. You know, the old people are super homophobic. And like the family members are like, you know, that's just him. He was brought up like that. You know, times were different. Who cares? Times are different now. You know, gay people have rights, black people have rights. He can treat them like normal people. To further that point, sure, they're older, but it also means they've lived through multiple social movements and learned absolutely nothing. Exactly, and a lot of times they have learned stuff and they know what's wrong, they still just do it. I always assume we did it because the next gen learned better and was just politely waiting for them to die. I mean, that's another reason, you know, put it this way, all old people will be dead eventually, and hopefully them beliefs will be dead with them. Say it louder because the old people are dead. I mean, yeah, do say it louder. Also, something I've noticed a lot of times whenever it comes to situations like that, especially like old Karens or old people just being entitled, they'll kind of say something shocking or like offensive and controversial like that, and then look at other people to see if they agree with them and be like shocked at people to agree with them. They don't realize that people don't think or act like that anymore. You know, people don't agree with your bigoted opinions. I heard this a lot in the family about grandma-in-law. She was one of the nice white ladies, yet she called them, but that's how they talk now. See, I'm not even gonna say that word because I don't like that word. The thing is, with old people, they'll say that word and don't even see an issue with it because like they just don't understand it, or maybe they do just pretend they don't understand it. Yet again, the only benefit with them dying is that like all that like beliefs and like racism, homophobia goes with them. Using your old people privilege to guilt the family into gathering for Thanksgiving just to criticize them the whole time. Now this is the old people privilege that I like.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
Let's keep more old people privilege like that. Like, I like that, Granny. I like that type of privilege, not the other privilege. Okay, so that was a few TikToks about old people privilege. I've now got a few TikToks of like old people being Karens and freaking out and being entitled. So enjoy these few TikToks.
Alright, you going to police.
Rip your head off and shit in your
Thanks. You're
Have
going
some
to police.
courtesy for people
You're going to
around you.
police. All right, bet you're getting the police call. Jail,
Oh,
white man.
damn.
Yeah, white man, you're going to jail. Yeah, white man. Yeah, white man. Yeah, white man.
Yet again, old people's like, they'll literally just go up and slap the phone out your hand.
I'm sorry, but why are some old people so entitled? It was just in Boots, right? I walk in, right, the centre aisle, the counter's at the end. There's an old man at the beginning of the aisle, and I walk round him and past him and go to the queue, right? He gets to me a second later behind me, but he's not technically behind me. He's like sort of by my side. Like I know he's going to queue jump, right? And two people come towards me to walk past me, so I take a step to the right because there's a pillar on the left, right? And, shelves. I can't move the other way. This mother, right, snaps in my face, excuse me, I'm in the queue, as if I'd just barged into the queue. And I sort of looked dumbfounded, and he said it again. He was like, I'm in the queue, love. I just snapped back at him. I was trying to move out of their way. Now, I'm wearing no makeup. I've got a baseball cap on. I've got a pretty significant rest in my face, right? So he didn't push it after that. And I just stood back. I stood behind him. I wasn't going to... There was a stop for the people. But I was this close to bare knuckle fighting this sweater. I don't care if you're 100 years old. You don't get to act like an entitled because of it.
That's the way you deal with them. You know, if someone's acting entitled, give the same energy back to them and they'll change. My main thing is, like, I'll be waiting for the bus at the bus stop before anyone else, and it's always the old people who, like, barge in front of me. I've actually seen that a few times with old people skipping the queue. It's like, sunshine, you might be 90, but you still gotta wait in line. 100% agree. I've torn a few old blokes a new a-hole. Next time, stand your ground. They are entitled because they believe we should respect them. I mean, I'm all for respecting old people, but the minute they don't respect me, I'll not respect them. That respect will completely disappear. He's old, he's cranky. Why are you making such a big deal about nothing? Step aside, young lady. I'm gonna assume that commenter's a bit of an older person. Yet again, I'm all for respecting old people. I do, you know, I smile at them, ask them how they are, etc. But if they act like he has, I'm gonna be rude to them. I'm gonna give them the same energy back.
You are rude and entitled, but that is not the way you approach somebody. Now, please, I told you, after you bring rude and disrespectful, you can leave.
Do you have some hand sanitizer?
You can leave. You can leave. You are not entitled to act like that and expect customer service. You can leave.
Oh, she could pull out a
I've asked you
gun.
several times on camera. Please go.
Oh, she's filming. I can guarantee you she wasn't even filming. They always do that. They pretend to film but don't actually know how to film. She was asking for sanitizer. Can you sanitize out your mouth? Why did she think pulling out her phone was going to help? Probably because she was either going to pretend to call the police or pretend to record him. I see it all the time. They always pretend to record people. They're like, oh, you know, I'm recording you, and then their phone actually isn't recording. It's literally like that. I just don't understand it. Yet again, she's probably retired and got nothing to do. Old people privilege. It's what they do. They go out of their way to irritate people.
We need to start teaching older people modern social cues. I went to Target today, and I was just doing my normal shopping. I had my little AirPods in on the little transparent mode, so I didn't have to hear the sound of everyone around me shopping. And these two older women started very loudly mocking me in the aisles of Target. And I'm pretty sure they thought I couldn't hear them because I had little headphones in. So I made direct eye contact with them and smiled like, hey, I can hear you. Maybe it'd be cool if you didn't say rude things about me right in front of me when I can hear you. But then they didn't get the social cue and proceeded to continue doing it. We should teach some older people social cues.
You can teach them, they'll probably not listen because they quite clearly don't care. Yet again, I've noticed that. It's like old people don't realise if you got headphones in, they can probably still hear you. Old people love to slag people off. That's something I've noticed. Like, they're big slaggers. They love to slag everyone off. My mum is constantly insulting people she walks by or sees when they can hear her. It's so embarrassing. I've been trying to stop it all my life and I'm 25. Yeah, that's definitely something parents do, and they don't realise that they're going to get smacked. They think they can say whatever they want, but one day they're going to get a knuckle sandwich and they're going to regret it. They're going to turn into a victim and cry. My toxic trait is I will just insert myself right into their conversation. Oh god, if you want to do that, you can, but I wouldn't. I'm genuinely terrified of old people. See a grumpy old person, that's my biggest fear.
No! I want you to. Come on! Come on! Let's go! Take that camera and put it
she's
down!
swinging.
You understand me?
Forget Grand Theft Auto, that Karen turned into Grand Theft Auto. Did you see? She was proper swinging. She needs a well check, yeah, by the looks of it, she's off for bloody meds. I think she can take him. The thing is, she probably doesn't think he would hit her back, but he would, and she would just fly backwards. Okay, so the caption of this next TikTok is Karen goes on a racist rant over chalk drawings. Whenever I'm talking about old people privilege, this is what I'm talking about.
I don't think you live here because I saw you have slimy eyes, and I talked to a
Slanted eyes? Wow, that's racist.
Oh God, look at her husband. He even looks
A
shocked.
racist rant caught on camera. That is in Garden Grove. The issue, we're told the woman was upset over chalk drawings by the man's children.
But it clearly progressed into anger and fear. Here's KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Stacy Butler.
You won't even tell your kids to stop.
This Garden Grove dad never dreamed one neighbor's demands to have his kids clean up their chalk drawings from the back alley would lead to this.
You Marilyn, come on. You won't even tell your kids to stop it. Where's your wife?
Alex Wong says the bizarre confrontation didn't stop there.
Get out of my house, please.
It's your house? Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yeah, go on,
A
take
fourth
Granny.
time, he asked her to leave.
Tell your kids to stop it or else I'm gonna...
You're gonna do what? You're gonna do what?
Wong says he asked her not to touch his car. Then she hit it again and again and walked back toward him.
Look at
That's
her
when her
husband.
rant
He
turned
looks in
racist.
shock.
I don't think you live here because I saw you have slanted eyes. And I talked to a...
Slanted eyes? Wow, that's racist.
The cell phone video Wong shot shows the neighbor walking toward him, yelling racial epithets. He was clipped in on a stationary bike. As she approached, yelling at him, he was unable to move away from her.
It was scary because not only was she physically able to push me at one point as she get closer and closer, but it was like I didn't want her to spit. I don't know where she's been.
Wong says when she kicked over his fan walking toward him, he screamed.
Get the hell out of my house. Get the hell out of my house. Sir, let
She's so
kids before I pepper spray
scary.
her. That's it.
Wong unclipped from his bike and grabbed a knife he says he keeps in his garage. Only then, he says, did they leave.
I never wanted to result to that, right? And to be honest with you, I'm still struggling with the fact that I had to reach for what in essence is a weapon to point it at somebody and say, leave my house.
We tried to speak with a woman caught on cell phone video. She didn't want to talk on camera. Her husband, who didn't want to share their names, says Wong was combative and misinterpreted her comments as racist.
She did that because there was a guy who came here before him who looked like he was kind of had slanted eyes, but I said it wasn't the same guy. And he just took that as being she was racist, you know, but she's not. My wife is not like that at all.
Wong says he reported the hate incident to police. He hasn't decided yet if he's going to file charges.
How can you sit there and say that your wife's not racist whenever she went up to an Asian man and said that he's got slanted eyes? It's just delusion, like it's old people privilege. They think that they can get away with it, but guess what? You really can. Husband then goes on to say slanted eyes, shake my head, birds of a feather. Exactly, it's like words like that, you just can't say it. Back whenever they were growing up, you could easily say it, like they were probably saying all types of words whenever they're growing up because you could, like it wasn't frowned upon. And it's also the fact that that was over chalk drawings on like an alleyway. Chalk drawings. You would think that these old retired people had better things to do. Definitely file charges. She shouldn't get away with that. She probably will, especially because of old granny privilege. All she needs to do is cry and let the crocodile tears out and she'll be let off easy. Chalk drawings, water washes it off. Exactly, but they don't care and it's so weird. The way they acted, you genuinely would have thought that they like owned the street. But anyways, that's really what I have to do there. That's some old people privilege of old people being crazy. If you want to see me look at more videos like this, let me know, definitely will. Press the bell, subscribe, and see you all tomorrow for another video.